Chapter 7-8. Traveling along the road, the strange duo of Bulma and Goku are venturing off to find the last Dragon Ball in hopes to see the Divine Dragon. Want some rabbit meat? Goku through his days in the wilderness has learned to eat anything that is edible in order to survive. Even creepy, sentient, rabbit mob bosses. That guy was a creep. How can you eat him with a nonchalant attitude? Bulma shivered a little thinking back to the rabbit boss that they encountered a couple of hours back. He almost turned her into a carrot if it weren't for Goku's quick thinking to just kill the criminal. Goku just shrugged and threw the rabbit boss's corpse into the jungle that they were passing. Anyways, we are so close to the last Dragon Ball. You can get your wish and I can get to see the dragon that you were talking about. I wonder what it's like living inside the Dragon Balls. Does he sleep forever and only comes out when we call him? Must be a boring existence. Goku was in deep thought about Shenron's daily life when Bulma spoke up from her seat in the driving position. About that Goku dash. Bulma had her mouth open when a blast hit the car they were in, making it explode into dust. A mech appeared out from the mushroom trees that were surrounding them and started attacking them. Cough son of a bi ch. Cough, that smoke went into my mouth while I was talking. Bulma had tears in her eyes from the sudden intake of smoke with a coughing fit to boot. The mech ignored the two and started rummaging in the wreckage looking for something. It wasn't long until the dog inside the mech found a black briefcase undamaged on a seat. Upon opening the case, he sees 6 shiny orange balls sitting neatly in a row inviting him to take them. Before he can celebrate and snatch his prize, a kick comes from behind making him stumble forward on one leg before repositioning himself. Goku grabbed the briefcase towards the direction of Bulma expecting her to catch it. Only for it land on her head as she was coughing black soot from her throat. Her head falls on the soot with a light thud, making the powder lightly rise from the impact. Goku, mostly unaware of Bulma's blackened face, squares up with the robot ready to fight. The angry Doge inside the mech starts the battle by blasting all the firearms available on the mech's arms at the smirking kid. Goku runs up and jumps on the slow missile, leading his brethren to a fiery hell. Using it as a platform, he jumps with all his might, elevating his height while making the missile go down to the ground. The missile explodes, causing a chain reaction to the other explosives. They all explode at once in a mesmerizing scene straight out of an anime. Shu couldn't help but be in a daze from the enchanting sight of Goku, fist outstretched, and the flying colors of the explosion. His emotions were strung from the picturesque sight as a single tear came from his eye only to be slowly absorbed into his fur. Goku put all his weight and gravity into his punch, so when it impacted, the mech screen shattered with Goku's fist inside the control panel. The mech instantly exploded, making Goku blast back next to Bulma while Shu took the brunt of the explosion, making his entire front black with the powder. Coming back from his daze because of the severe burns he has been afflicted with, Shu retrieves a jetpack from his capsule and flies off into the distance with his tail tucked between his legs. Before he leaves, he yells out to the victors, "Would have gotten away with those Dragon Balls if it weren't for you meddling kids." Serves him right for trying to steal the Dragon Balls. That was a good stretch. Bulma, do you have any more vehicles that you can use? I will stick to Kintown just in case something like this happens again. Goku had a silly grin on his face from an easy win. He turns to look at Bulma when he hasn't heard her response, only to find himself looking at a charcoal Bulma with a hand mirror reflecting her face as she looked at it. Mr. Popo. Bulma suddenly turns to Goku with a stare that can pierce souls. Goku felt like he was staring at death herself when Bulma was slowly walking up to Goku. A sickening thunk could be heard for miles, originating from a dirt road void from civilization. Did I hear you correctly? You failed your mission, was it? Whose fault was it, so I can punish them? A small blue imp creature was currently sitting on a chair staring at what seemed to be a larger version of the Dragon Radar. Behind him stood 2 individuals that presumably failed their mission. Shu, a brown humanoid dog with a ninja attire on, and Mai, a tall human female with a military-like blue trench coat on, were bowing down to the imp's back, sweating from all their possible glands. Sir, it wasn't Dash. Shu started his plea towards his master but was abruptly cut off. You know what? It doesn't matter whose fault it was, you are both going to be tortured. Pilaf then presses a button on the control panel in front of him. 12 hands immediately come out from the floor and ceiling. The hands had white gloves on them and were around half a size bigger than regular human hands. Shu and Mai had horrified expressions on them as the white gloves started wiggling their fingers at their prey. Before Shu and Mai could run, 4 hands each dash towards their respective occupants. The hands latch on their feet and hands, making them float in the air in a starfish position. The remaining hands lurk towards the unfortunate participants, making the duo shiver in anticipation. Suddenly, the hands thrust forwards and started to tickle the airborne minions ruthlessly. Feet, armpits, neck, no body part was left with mercy as the hands tickled with all their might. A/N, felt like I was stating fetishes with the feet and stuff XD. The tortured started laughing uncontrollably and couldn't stop even when their voice started to strain. 1 hour of the torture is not nearly enough for you too, but since we are on a tight schedule it will have to do. To compensate, I added my newly made tickling powder to make your body more sensitive. Next time don't disappoint me or I will extend it. Unfortunately, the duo wasn't able to hear their emperor as tears started to trickle from laughing too hard. We finally made it. This last Dragon Ball should be inside this less than ominous castle. We should be expecting that guy that you said you fought inside here. Bulma was currently looking between the radar and the castle in disbelief. Goku, with a plan already in mind, started to trek to the front entrance and opened the door. Following the poorly made arrow trap that made him feel stupider by looking at it. They soon found themselves at a dead end with the wall behind them shut down. Bulma quickly started lamenting at how stupid it was to get trapped so easily. Suddenly, the television that was embedded inside the wall lit up showing Emperor Pilaf on the other end. Hey, give me all your Dragon Balls. If you don't, your girlfriend will have something really perverted done to her. Pilaf threw his ultimatum while wearing a grim expression. He is not my boyfriend you bought *guard. You are the one who attacked us. Let us out of here. Bulma shouted towards the TV like it was her only lifeline. I see, then let us see how you will react when I do something extremely perverted. The ceiling opened a trapdoor revealing a mechanical claw big enough to squeeze the biggest of pimples. The claw latched onto struggling Bulma and pulled her into the trapdoor. Goku, ready for this moment, latched onto Bulma's legs before the claw could take her fully inside. They traveled through a metal tube at extreme speeds. Because of this, Goku held Bulma tighter as she froze like a statue from the feeling. The metal tube reached the end appearing in front of the villainous trio. The little boy came with her. No matter. You will have to watch boy as I do something that will traumatize her forever. The little wrinkly face wrinkled more from puffing out his lips like a duck. The two behind him looked away just before he put his hand in front of his lips and blew Bulma a kiss. It's even more ridiculous up close. Let me just end their misery. Before the villains could react, Goku fired off a Kamehameha wave to finish them all quickly. Kamehameha. Shu and Mai were behind Pilaf, so when Pilaf got carried by the blue energy beam, they got impacted and swept away too. The Kamehameha broke through the castle leaving behind a gaping hole. The Kamehameha started to curve upwards towards the very stars. In the distance, a voice can be heard. Next time we will get you. This isn't the last you see of me. The Pilaf gang will be blasting off for the first and last time. Once the voice was done, a little twinkle can be seen where they blasted off. The reason he held back and didn't kill them was that he wanted Piccolo to be born. Letting them live to find the Demon King would be much simpler than finding the jar himself. It's not like he is a threat to his rising power anyways. Grabbing Bulma like she was a sack of potatoes, Goku made a quick stop at the control panel pressing the conveniently placed big red self-destruct button. After that, he ran out the hole that the Pilaf gang kindly made for him before the control room made a chain explosion to the entire castle. Using the momentum from the blast, Goku gracefully landed on the ground before letting Bulma stand. Just as he did, Bulma started to hurl on the ground right before him soaking his shoes in a gross green liquid. I finally found it. Goku and Bulma were removing the rubble from the destroyed castle looking for the Dragon Ball until Goku found it. We finally did it. This entire adventure and we finally found the last Dragon Ball. Goku and Bulma hugged each other crying rivers of tears in an exaggerated way. Goku gave Bulma the last Dragon Ball when they went to a clearing to summon the Eternal Dragon. Bulma with all Dragon Balls on hand, hesitated for a second, before shoving all the balls into Goku's arms. Seeing that Goku was a little confused, Bulma explained herself feeling a little bashful. You helped realize a couple of things in our time together. I realized that I don't need to summon a perfect boyfriend but to look for a boyfriend while accepting his imperfections as he does to me. That is the only way to achieve love. Well, a better way than wishing for one. Don't you have other stuff you want to wish for? I don't want to use the things that you set out to find. Oh please, I have everything already. Looks, money, entertainment, consider this a payment for helping me not die multiple times. Goku, shocked at Bulma's transformation, gladly took the Dragon Balls and spread them on the ground. So what are you going to wish for? To become stronger. Bulma looked at Goku curiously. Ever since she started hanging out with him, he has never shown to want something besides gaining more strength. Something similar, you see at a full moon, I transform into something like a giant ape. I have never learned how to control it so I hopefully Shenron will enable me to while also granting me more. You were the great ape of Imdipozu. Wait, what do you mean by more dash? Before Bulma can ask what he meant by more, Goku recited the ancient summoning words. Eternal Shenron, by your name I summon you forth. Goku passionately said out every word like they were his dream since childbirth. The 7 Dragon Balls shined in unison like they were responding to Goku's heartfelt declaration. A yellow beam erupted from the middle of the crowded balls and blasted towards the starry sky. The sky started to blacken while making the atmosphere slightly oppressive with lightning. The beam soon started to slowly transform into a figure of a magnificent dragon with its body swirling and coiling around in the air. The yellow light shed itself, like dead skin on a snake, revealing a green dragon with red eyes that glowed with power. The mighty figure had horns on his head and fangs that looked like razors while the tail seemed to be protruding from the dragon balls never to be seen. Shenron looked down to see two children that had summoned his presence and started to talk to them. I am the eternal dragon Shenron, I can grant you one wish. State your wish. The two were staring in awe at the divine dragon until he had broken the silence. Goku started to rearrange the wish that he thought of in his mind until he was finally satisfied with the wording. Shenron, please grant me perfect control of any transformations that I can achieve with this body. Is this wish possible? Goku chose this wish because, if made possible, it can allow him to transform into all the Super Saiyan's transformations, Great Ape transformations, and possibly the God transformations with little to no effort. Shenron's eyes glowed with reality-bending power whilst studying the individual before him. It took a few seconds before he spoke again. Your species have unlimited potential with many stages at that. I will not be able to grant you perfect control over your transformations as it is beyond my power. However, I can grant you a better understanding of your body, making you have the potential of perfect control while making it easier to control your transformations. Is this suitable? Goku, although not achieving his overpoweredness in seconds, was still excited at the wish that will be granted. He expected Shenron not to be able to make him overpowered but still wanted a wish similar to the one he made, so it all worked out in the end. Yes, it is. Thank you. Very well. Shenron's eyes glowed once more. Your wish has been granted. Farewell. Shenron, with his job done, retracted into the Dragon Balls as quickly as he came. The Dragon Balls together rose in a blindly yellow light until each one dispersed in different directions. Goku, while staring at the departing Dragon Balls, felt like something click into his brain. He suddenly felt like his body was acting differently and felt weird. It wasn't long before a blinding pain similar to the one that brought him to this world started to attack his brain from all sides. Goku started to scream in pain while Bulma was panicking about the situation. Thinking quickly, she loaded the squirming child into the back of her car and drove off to the nearest hospital. Kami's lookout. Kami, someone has summoned the eternal dragon Shenron. A Vantablack genie observed the darkening sky in the distance until a yellow flash made it disappear. I see Mr. Popo, let me observe this youth that gathered the Dragon Balls. A green, wrinkly creature named Kami closed his eyes in concentration. It doesn't look like he is evil and didn't wish for anything too extreme. He is even able to ride the flying Nimbus. I don't think we have anything to worry about. It's not like he will become the universe's most powerful. Mr. Popo and Kami laughed at their little joke that brightened the lonely atmosphere that accompanied them on the highest point on Earth. Kami and Mr. Popo both sighed into the wind as they looked over Earth. Kami spoke first. This *T is boring. Be careful of what you wish for, Kami. Goku woke up to a blinding light while feeling extremely lightheaded. What's going on? Where am I? Is this what they call the legendary hangover? As Goku groggily stood up, he could hear someone opening a door. Ah, Goku my boy, you are awake. I will go inform Bulma, you have been sleeping all day since Bulma brought you in. To his right was a stubby old man with glasses adorning his face. He was typing on something on his wrist while talking to him. Dr. Briefs. Indeed. Oh, looks like Bulma is very dash. Before he can finish, Bulma burst through the door and hugged Goku when she saw that he was awake. Goku, stuck between two mountains of flesh, struggled to breathe from Bulma's death grip. Before he can pass out once more, Bulma let him go so he can breathe air again. What happened, Bulma? Where am I? Goku quickly asked before anything escalated any further. After the wish, I rushed you to the nearest hospital. While in the car you were squirming non-stop and it looked like you were in pain. Halfway there you stopped, but I still went just in case. When I arrived they told me that you were just unconscious from the pain and that they didn't know what was wrong with you. They did know that you were going to be fine after you wake up, so I just took you here to my house to see if my dad can see what was wrong with you. Ah, sorry Bulma. When I made the wish I didn't think that was going to happen. At the mention of the wish, the sad Bulma instantly turned angry. She slapped him right on his cheek, leaving behind a red mark. You little. I can't believe you made a wish that would hurt you like that. Do you know how worried I was? Humph. Bulma stormed out after her little rant, leaving Goku with her father. That was a sight to see. Well, Goku, I couldn't find anything wrong with you even with all my tools. If it wasn't obvious from your great ape transformation and tail, you aren't human. That's all I can infer. I will have to up my technology after this. Goku, feeling a little embarrassed, decided to ask, will Bulma be alright? She seemed pretty mad. Bulma's father looked at Goku with an amused expression. She was pretty shaken up when she saw you in that state of pain. She should be fine soon though, just give her some space. I will give her some space, I must have shaken her up really bad. Tell her that I will be training at Master Roshi's place for the time being. After receiving the curt nod of Dr. Briefs, Goku made his way out of the laboratory to head out to Master Roshi's place. As much as Goku wanted to explore his newfound powers that Shenron unlocked, he would be late to arrive at Master Roshi's training. After a short while on Kintown, Goku is finally able to see Master Roshi's place in the middle of the ocean. On that island, Goku can see Master Roshi talking to a short cue ball with perverted expressions on their face. Sitting on a chair, one could also see a pig just lounging around doing nothing. Hey Master Roshi. I am here for my training. Goku swooped down and hopped off Kintown next to the two bald martial artists. Oh, it's you. You are here for training as well. I almost forgot. Who are you, kid? The great Master Roshi here already as a disciple? The short bald kid had 6 dots on his shiny forehead to compensate for his lack of nose. He snorted at the new arrival in disdain. Now Krillin, I did also promise Goku that I will train him. But of course, he will accompany you on your trip to find someone suitable for my stature. Yeah, find us someone good. Oolong felt the need to chime in because he felt like he was getting forgotten. After just an hour of traveling, Goku arrived at Master Roshi's abode once more while Krillin was glued to the back of blue-haired beauty that came along. After hearing them coming back, Master Roshi quickly went outside to see what his discipline's latest catch was. Long slender legs, booty shorts, and a crop top were all Roshi could see when he was staring in delight at the young curvaceous woman that was on his porch. Drool seeped into his shirt as he yelled in delight. Everyone had to cover their ears at the old man's yelling before it tears their eardrums apart. Oolong and Master Roshi was inspecting launch a little too close to anyone's liking. So before it can get out of hand with Krillin sucking up, Goku spoke first. In his most excited tone he can muster, he told his soon-to-be master, we found her getting chased by the police after she robbed a bank. Great. Wait, what? Master Roshi looked a little flustered at the explanation that this innocent-looking girl is a criminal. Does not matter. Ha. You two are my disciples now. Hurry, wear this uniform. Master Roshi handed everyone what looked like black lingerie, looking at Launch quiet expectantly. Launch was slowly peeling off her top to change, nearly revealing 2 bright pink bumps on her modest chest until a fly flew past her nose. Her previous blue hair instantly turned blonde like the other color was just an illusion. She promptly stopped what she was doing to inspect the situation. She quickly pulled a submachine gun out of thin air and started blasting everyone to smithereens. You goddamn perverts. After arriving on the larger island that would serve as the Turtle School's training down, they quickly settled in. Launch quickly went inside the capsule house preparing dinner while Master Roshi was preparing to test Goku and Krillin's speed. Alright you two, I want you to sprint from that rock to this tree. It is about 100 m, so do your best. Krillin started first because he really wanted to show his superiority and quickly become Master Roshi's favorite. He started in the standard sprint position with his arms touching the ground and his feet ready to bounce. Start. Krillin moved the millisecond he heard the first word. Moving faster than any normal eye can track, he arrived past in seconds. 10.3 seconds. You are really something. Before Krillin could boast any time his year, Goku quickly reminded Master Roshi that he was next in line. Ah, yes Goku. Ready. Start. Goku burst forward from his seemingly relaxed stand straight towards the tree like it was his worst enemy. Goku was a blur that Roshi nor Krillin could believe, and he soon also reached the tree. Time. Roshi snapped out of his daze at the speed of the young martial artists and looked at the time that he recorded. 7 to 7.9 seconds. Krillin quickly proceeded to almost faint before Roshi caught him and helped him stand up. Before you clock out, watch this old master show you how it's done. Master Roshi was hoping that with his speed, he can rejuvenate Krillin's motivation after seeing the gap in power from his rival. After all, Krillin's speed was around his when he was just his age as well. Master Roshi burst through the track like a star, making everyone look his way while shielding their eyes. He instantly made it to the tree and asked his time. Heek. 5 seconds. You see Krillin, I was dash. Before Master Roshi could continue, Krillin already fainted standing up. Hurry it up. Krillin, you got to keep up. Hey. Did you skip that zigzag? Do it 2 more times. Hey. Watch where you are throwing that dirt. I am trying to enjoy the view through these binoculars here. Bonk. Gosh darn it Krillin. 9 plus 10 is not 21. What stupid person told you that? You are not supposed to do actual construction. Only help them. You made this entire bridge fall. Oi. We aren't at the beach. Don't splash water on me. We shall do all of that, but instead with these 20 kilogram shells. Krillin was moved to tears. Fu dash. I don't really have any fight techniques to teach you too. All of the work you have been doing has been honing your body and senses to the max. However, I do have these 40 kilograms as gifts to further your training. Master Roshi pulled out 2 more shells that sunk into the ground upon their descent. Even though I remember Roshi not teaching them fighting technique, this confirms it. Although they say it is martial arts and know what martial arts are like karate, it's the mostly just punching and kicking with some key techniques mixed in. No real martial arts are here like in my old world, only just refined movements compared to people like Caulifla who was labeled a brawler. In my previous life, I never really learned any martial arts but I studied a lot of them to have some mixed knowledge. This will give me an edge in fighting so I hope I can fully utilize my knowledge in this body. Taking advantage of one of the few breaks that Master Roshi allowed them, Goku hopped onto Kintown to search for a desolated island when night befell. Finding one, Goku positioned himself at the center waiting for the moon to show itself. Today, I finally get to see Shenron's wish in action. I don't expect to gain control if the Great Ape perfectly today, but some progress would be good. Soon, the moon has shown itself in all its glory shooting waves of lunar light to its participants. Goku looked up from his meditating position and instantly his eyes swelled red. Goku started accumulating hair across his entire body and grew meter by meter into the infamous Great Ape transformation. I think. It's still hard to control. But least I can control. Goku had a hard time adjusting to his newfound height and extreme fury that was hidden inside such a monstrous transformation. To counteract this, Goku in his Great Ape form sat in a meditating position to calm his mind. It is time for the World Martial Arts Tournament. You too can take off your turtle shells now. Goku and Krillin promptly took off their shells and observed their bodies. They soon noticed that their bodies responded to them better than before and felt like they had limitless stamina. Try to jump your hardest. After Master Roshi's encouragement, the turtle hermit apprentices jumped as hard as they can, leaving a puff of smoke in their wake. They easily jumped a few meters and were still rising. They reached their apex looking at each other surprisingly before gravity took control. This power. It's so invigorating. I feel like I can do anything. This is what it means to surpass human limits. Goku and Krillin suited up and boarded their luggage before setting off to stomp on their competition. After going between various different vehicles, they finally arrived at the World Martial Arts Tournament registration stands. These two will be participating. As Master Roshi was signing them in, Goku was currently observing everyone that has shown up to participate. People of all different shapes and looks were participating hoping to take a spot in the finals, even though some looked like regular people wishing to get lucky. When Goku was looking through at the participants, he heard a familiar voice behind him. "Ah, Goku, it's you. You didn't even say goodbye the last time I saw you." Turning his head around, he saw a Bulma in a crazy new hairstyle with Capsule Corp logo clothes. Seeing her new look, Goku could not help but feel that although it was kind of out there, it fit her nonetheless. "Well, last time you were quite angry with me, so I thought it would have been better to just leave." Goku had a wry smile on his face at the approaching Bulma. She had a pout as she strutted forward towards him. Krillin's jaw dropped at Bulma's beauty and their implicit conversation. He started to poke Oolong in the ribs to ask him the question that floated in his mind when he saw Bulma. Who is this gorgeous lady? How does she know Goku so familiarly? Her. That's Bulma. Don't be charmed by her looks, she is a devil in human skin. As far as I know, they aren't in a relationship, but who knows? They went on a crazy adventure together and had a lot of time to themselves. Before Krillin could respond, Bulma, when she was close to Goku, suddenly squeezed the life out of him once again. Krillin's eyes bulged out at the display before cursing himself. Phew, look up dash. Bonus scene. Sitting on top of a floating island in the middle of nowhere, a frizzly Nico was lounging around. What was particularly weird was what the Nico was sitting on. He was sleeping on a beanbag-shaped object made entirely out of green beans. Said Nico wakes up with a yawn and started looking at the overflowing amount of green beans in his home. Oh Cammy, I should really do something about these senzu beans. They are overtaking my home. The Nico was contemplating before ultimately deciding on the most unforgivable sin in this universe. I should just destroy them. All they do is feed a normal person 10 days and nothing else. Useless otherwise. The Nico proceeded to destroy the overflowing beans. A/N, Nico means cat in Japanese, I am not referring to Nico girls. End bonus.